Welcome to Voices Made Heard, the things that bring us down. And I am Lama Sarhan. The topic I'll be talking about is judgment. For the first poem I chose is Messy Room by Shel Silverstein that I found it very interesting and funny. Whosever room this is should be ashamed. His underwear is hanging on the lamp. His raincoat is there in the overstuffed chair, and the chair is becoming quiet, mucky, and damp. His workbook is wished in the window. His sweater's been thrown on the floor. His scarf and whiskey are beneath the TV, and his pants have been carelessly hung on the door. His books are all jammed in the closet. His vest has been left in the hall. A lizard named Ed is asleep in his bed, and his smelly old sock has been stuck on the wall. Whosever room this is should be ashamed. Donald, or Robert, or Willie, or, huh? You say it's mine? Oh dear, I know it looked familiar. Shel Silverstein had a creative skill set that has led him to become a well-known poet and children's author. Silverstein's style is unique and derived from his personality, and his main focus is on writing humorous poems. His poem Messy Room is very funny and easy to read, is written in the traditional style, and has many comic elements and easy to understand theme and meaning. The speaker is the person who has walked into the room, and the audience is the owner of the messy room. The poet uses figurative language such as personification, hyperbole, and symbolism. And he also includes repetition, imagery for the sight and smell, and pleasant, easy to follow rhythms in his A-B, C-B, D-E, F-E rhyme scheme. The writer's tone is teasing, mad, surprised, and disgust, but later it shifts to shame. When the speaker is made aware that the room he describes is his own room, a sheepish acknowledgement of, oh dear, I know it looked familiar, closes the poem. In conclusion, the poet's theme is what you should never blame others before you know what has actually happened, think before you act, and understand the matter first before you speak of it. So, in response, I wrote, you should be embarrassed. Whoever judges others should be embarrassed. Your words out in the air with your flying saliva. Your mouth is the size of watermelon. Your brain is the size of lava. Idiot! You don't understand them anyway. Your lack of sense is there in the trash. Your stupidity hung on the wall. And your heart, spiteful, harsh. Your phone falls and you panic. But when you judge, you're merciless. Your sense? In the garbage with rotten banana. Your brain is quite dead, it's asleep in your head. And your foolish words have been blinded your eyes. Whoever judges others should be embarrassed. Sarah, or Yasmin, or Lulwa, or, huh? You're saying it's me? Oh dear, no wonder it felt insincere. So, people who jump to conclusions and judge others should be ashamed, and I feel that both Silverstein's and my copy change poem convey this idea. I wrote my poem for teenagers because they are very judgmental lot, quick to condemn others, and do not look at their own behavior before looking at others. My poem, You Should Be Ashamed, describes the person who judges others. The connection between the two poems is in the style and the theme. Although they're not exactly the same, they're both connected to behaviors in teen life. Our shared message to the audience is that you should never judge others, at least not before you know them. Think before you speak and understand it, like before you do it. For my second poetry, I chose an emo poem, which is Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson, that I found a deep meaning inside it. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Many of Emily Dickinson's writing are related to hope, success, and freedom, including this poem, as said in biography.com. Hope is the Thing with Feathers is one of her most famous poems. Here, Dickinson takes an abstract feeling, hope, and likens it to something real, which is a singing bird. Hope always lives in our soul, forever and is always there no matter how the situation is difficult. Like this, the bird as a symbol of hope remains and never asks anything from us in return. The bird is a good metaphor because, like a bird, hope is free. When Dickinson uses the bird as hope, the broken feathers become a symbol of a person who has been beaten down by life. The hope bird comparison brings an optimistic and trustworthy tone to the poem. Personification perches, metaphor hope, alliteration soul, sings, stops, sweetest, soar, sow, and strangest sea. And imagery are the poetic devices utilized in this poem. The theme conveys the poem's message by telling everyone that hope exists in our soul forever, even in the hardship. From this poem, we can learn that the difficult conditions we face in life should not stop us from hoping. In response, I wrote, "Judgment is the thing in darkness." Judgment is the thing in darkness that destroys the heart and shouts the complaint without the words and never stops at all. And jarring in the hurricane is condemnation, and words must be the cyclone that could awake the shadow that keeps so many trapped below. I've heard it across the prodigious lands, and from the tallest tree, yet always, even in joke and parody, judgment kills a piece of me. My poem responds not to the existence of hope, but to its absence. Emily Dickinson is describing hope as the sweetest bird, and there is always hope no matter how difficult the situation is. My poem offers the complete opposite idea. It shows the dark side of people who judge others. In darkness, I use the shadow as a metaphor for judgment. In my poem, metaphorical judgment is everywhere, even in the prodigious land or tallest tree, and comes unexpectedly like a jarring hurricane. In point, my poem is about the figurative shadow of humanity's judgment that kills a piece of us, even when the judgment is delivered jokingly. For my last poem, I chose it to be a slam poetry because a spoken words poem delivers the message to people perfectly. So I chose The Type by Sarah Kay. If you grew up the type of women men want to look at, you can let them look at you. But do not mistake eyes for hands or windows or mirrors. Let them see what a woman looks like. They may have not ever seen one before. If you grew up the type of women men want to touch, you can let them touch you. Sometimes it is not you they're reaching for. Sometimes it is a bottle, a door, a sandwich, a Pulitzer, another woman. But their hands found you first. Do not mistake yourself for a guardian, or a muse, or a promise, or a victim, or a snack. You're a woman. Skin and bones, veins and nerves, hair and sweat. You're not made out of metaphors, not apologies, not excuses. If you grew up the type of women men want to hold, you can let them hold you. All day, they practice keeping their bodies upright. Even after all this evolving, it still feels unnatural, still strains the muscles, hold firms the arms and spine. Only some men will want to learn what it feels like to curl themselves into a question mark around you. Admit they do not have the answers they thought they would by now. Some men will want to hold you like the answer. You're not the answer. You're not the problem. You're not the poem or the punchline or the riddle or the joke. The Type is a spoken word poem written by Sarah Kay for her best friend. She based the poem on a line by Richard Siken, which reads, "Everyone needs a place. It shouldn't be inside someone else," as said in Genius.com. Kay's style is unique and her main focus is on writing educational and inspirational poems. Her poem The Type is very inspirational and optimistic. It is also written in free verse style. The theme is about relationships. The speaker is Sarah, the poet, and the audience includes women who are afraid of their partners or in an abusive relationship, or teenagers and young adults starting relationships because she's speaking in response to her best friend's experience. She advises her friend in the poem not to define herself as a woman through the eyes and hands of men, but on her own terms. The poet explores how women value themselves in the context of their relationships to men and is telling her friend that she cannot fix any men as she's in control only of herself. She says that sometimes it is not you they're reaching for, explaining that often in their need, men reach for something else and grab their partners instead. This does not mean you have to become what they were reaching for or be a substitute for it. Let yourself be the true you are. Never take men's eyes as your judgment or anything more than eyes. The poet's use of figurative language includes imagery, repetition, simile. She also creates a symbolism. The writer's tone is soft, optimistic, wise, and inspirational. The diction is relatable, honest, and easily understandable. In conclusion, the message conveyed by The Type is that every woman should be powerful in their own right, not dependent on, a reflection of, afraid of men. Women should only control themselves and not try to fix men because they're not the answer, solution, or problem. In response, I wrote the kind. If you grew up the kind of teenager society wants to stare at, you can let them stare at you, but do not fall to their eyes for permission or punishment or power. Let them see what a teenage girl looks like. They may have not ever seen one before who's true to herself. If you grew up the kind of teenager society wants to laugh at, you can let them laugh at you. Sometimes it is not you they're laughing at. Sometimes it is an escape, a getaway, an ambition, a sense of popularity, or a purpose. But the weapons are words that found you first. Do not lose your sense of self for a friend or a relative or a teacher or a leader or any individual. You're a teenager with feelings and emotions, brain and heart, eyes and mouth. You're not made out of stones, not objections, not justifications. If you grew up the kind of teenager society wants to judge, you can let them judge you. All night, they prepare their words precisely. Even after all this preparation, it still feels unrehearsed, insincere, unbalanced, still looking for the pieces, choosing the right words and sentences. Only some people will want to learn what it feels like to show themselves as the empty person they are around you. Admit they do not have the solution they thought they had. Some people will want to judge you like an object. You're not the object, you're not the solution, you're not the formula or the numbers or the mess. You're just you. I mimicked the slam poem The Type by Sarah Kay with a spoken word of my own called The Kind. Kay describes the relationship between men and women and claims that if men want to look at you, touch you, or hold you, sometimes you're not the reality they're reaching for, as they're actually reaching for something else they want. My poem, on the other hand, has the same idea and style, but a slightly different theme. I wrote The Kind to deliver a message to teenagers. I want people to know that a teenage girl is not worthless. People keep hurting teenagers without thought or care for their feelings, their heart, their growing personalities. Instead, they mock them or laugh at them. All that leads to teens feeling nothing but disappointment of the judgment of others. The message of my poem is to encourage self-worth. I want teens to always keep in mind to take the negative attention, their eyes, their laughter, and their judgment as nothing that can hurt, because society's actions do not define who you are as a person. I hope that everyone enjoyed the video and thanks for watching. Bye!